everyone, good day and welcome back to my channel. Autumn is upon us, as we can all tell from the beautiful autumn colors outside. And of course from all the spikes on our orchids. So today I thought I would quickly share with you which orchids of mine are in spike. Which is not that many yet. I still have quite a lot more which I'm expecting spikes from. But it's a very good start and I'm quite happy to be able to show you these. So let's get into it. So here's the first one, and it also has, I think, second most developed spike of all the ones I'm going to show you today, which is my no Ideal Cerium, which looks a lot like an Uncle Stealth firecat. I bought this one from a supermarket, and I did not actually expect it to spike anytime soon, because the new pseudobulb that you see here is far smaller than the much bigger one that it came with when I bought it, and it still has the spike from when I bought it, when it was in bloom back then, which you can see over here. And it never actually yellowed or was reabsorbed, so I'm guessing I'm feeding it right at least. That's something, right? So despite the small bulb, it still managed to make the spike. And I'm extremely pleased about that, especially because my experiences with oncidium so far have not been spotless. I had one red oncidium that I bought from a flower shop in the Netherlands. I'll put a picture of it up on the screen somewhere, like here or something. I really like that one. But I bought it without any roots, and I really went to town on its roots, and that wasn't good for it. So now I don't have it anymore. It's actually properly dead. And then the second one was generic. It was an Alicera, Ruth Morning Joy. And I've had that one struggling along for maybe like 7 months, and I finally threw it out right before the move because the last of the pseudobulbs were just really depleted and they were starting to brown, and I had zero hopes left for it. So I was extremely pleased when this oncidium actually did well and finished off a pseudobulb and spiked too. And the roots inside the pot aren't all that bad either, let me show you. Okay. So those are new roots that the new pseudobulb has grown. And you can see a few more along the side. So, it's nothing spectacular, but it definitely isn't bad. Oh, and it's making a new growth here as well. So, all in all, this oncidium seems to just be doing well. Again, I'm just really happy about that. Next, we have the oncidium Twinkle, and this is, I don't have an official name for it. On the tag, it just says something like orange border or something. Let's see. On the tag, it says oncidium Twinkle border red/dark orange, which I'm pretty sure isn't the actual name, but it is a description of what the flowers look like. I haven't seen it in bloom yet, as goes with a lot of my orchids that I bought online. And it's making 2 big spikes, as you can see here. Now, these spikes are not new. If you follow me on other social media, you've probably already seen pictures of it come by once or twice in spike. But they just take forever to develop. I think I first saw the spike developing somewhere end of May, beginning of June. And since then, they've grown. It's just been extremely slow. And I don't even see buds yet. I can see a lot of branching going on, like over here and over here. A whole bunch of branching. But no actual bud formation yet. So it might still take another month or two, who knows. This one I just thought I'd include because it is definitely an orchid that's in spike and has been for ages. Okay, and next up there's an orchid that I've already shown to you very recently in the Is My Keiki Spiking video. And I just wanted to give you a small update on that particular keiki that might or might not be spiking. And here it is in a bit of a close-up. As you can see, I do think it has grown at least a little bit since I showed it to you last. So it seems like me scratching the spike has not stopped me from trying to grow, which is very good news. But it has been a bit slow. Then again, everything's been a bit slow. They're all adjusting to my new environment. I'm adjusting to my new environment. My home is still a mess. But I just want to share this good news with you, even though I've very recently already shown you the spike. And I hope it will keep on developing. Oh, and as one last thing, just to add, I do think that this is not actually the keiki spiking, but the... So here you have the spike from which the keiki is growing. I think the spike is just branching off at the same node from which it produced a keiki. I don't know, it just seems more likely to me than that this tiny keiki is actually producing a spike right now. It just makes more sense. So I'm expecting that to be what's happening here. Yeah, great, I'm rambling. Next one. And here's my next one, which is a Phalaenopsis, which I have never seen in bloom before because I got it from my mother. She bought it in Abu Dhabi and she enjoyed the flowers and then it stopped blooming and she brought it to Netherlands for me. Point being, I've never ever seen this one in bloom and I'm super happy that it's spiking and doing well because it was a gift, you know, and my other gift from my mother has Cerium, so it's nice to have one that's doing well enough to actually spike. So yeah, this is a very small and fresh spike as you can see, but it's actually developing quite a lot because I discovered it only, I think maybe 3 days ago, and it was barely breaking the surface of the leaves there. So it's growing at a substantial pace, I think. There you go, now you can see how it's doing, Mum. You can see that the leaves are all nice and sturdy and green and no sign of dehydration. It's doing well. Thank you for this gift. And next I have a much smaller Phalaenopsis, as you can see, which is one that I got from a grocery store as well. And I bought it because I had recently learned about novelty Phalaenopsis and I was very excited about them. And when I saw this one in a flower shop, it looked like it might be at least distantly related to Polychias and novelty Phalaenopsis. So I bought it. I'll show you a picture like with all the others, what the flowers were like. And they had nice red flowers and I'm always a sucker for red. And when I got home I realized it was nice and scented as well. But I've been having a little bit of issues with this particular orchid. As you can see over here, this leaf is kind of like halfway between deciding whether it wants to have its nutrients reabsorbed and drop or stay. It doesn't seem to be making up its mind. It's been like this for like 3 months now, so it's really not making up its mind. But another thing that I'm having with this orchid is that there's a lot of fungus, some sort of strange webby fungus between the roots and the leca. There you can see some fibers. It's hard to see without a flashlight. With a flashlight it really lights up really well. But I've been having these fibers between the roots the whole time. And I was worried that it was harming the plant. But it seems okay because, well, I was worried as well because when one of its newer leaves, this one, was substantially shorter than the leaf that came before it. So I was worried that's the main thing that made me worry that the fungus around the roots wasn't good for the plant. But the leaf that came after that is a lot longer again. And this leaf is growing just fine. I'm pretty sure it will be a large one again. And we have a spike. Can you see it? It's a bit difficult because it's literally just beginning. But over here, I'm pretty sure that it's a spike. I'll be able to confirm it in a few days, I'm sure. But I'm pretty darn sure that it's a spike. It's a bit high up for a root. That one's a root, clearly. So this one's also spiking, which is great. And last but certainly not least, I have my Phalaenopsis valentini, which is always impossible to get in one shot if you want to have the flowers in there, because this spike is ridiculously long. But I can bend it a bit and show you the flowers. There you go. You can see it in my What's in Bloom video anyway. But I've decided to include it because it's also developing a new spike right over here. But I can't really take full credit for this one because I bought it with the spike already developing, but then it was just a lot smaller. It was like down here or something, and since then it's grown substantially. So I can't take credit for this plant. But I'm happy to see that I decided to continue working on spike and also create a flush of roots back here, but also back here. So it just shows to me that this orchid is happy, you know? It's adjusting well to its second new environment, because I got it when I was still in my old place and then it got moved again. But yeah, it seems to be doing fine. It seems to be a relatively sturdy novelty hybrid. And I'm still very much enjoying seeing it growth. It's a pleasure when orchids don't throw a fuss and just keep growing, you know? Like nothing ever happened. While they bloom. It's a very vigorous one for a novelty hybrid. And those were all my spikes that are already growing this season. It really is spiking season, which you can see when you go online and go to Facebook groups and to forums. Everyone's a spike. And thankfully, I can now finally say that my collection is joining the fray. Although it's still only a small part of my collection. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different plants. And I have about 44. So you know, could be more. But it's a good start, and a lot of my orchids are still very new orchids since I'm just a new grower. So I shouldn't expect too much yet. Oh, as the last thing I could maybe tell you and show you. My first ever rebloom, the Procatavola Golden Peacock, is done blooming. It has dropped 2 of its 3 flowers already, and the third one is clearly on its way out. I think it's a bit faster than I expected. When I look at forums and other videos on this Cattleya, it can apparently bloom for quite a long time. But I'm guessing that the move and the change of environment pooped it out a bit. It needs to recover, I'm guessing. And either way, I really enjoyed its little blooms, and I'm still so happy that this was my first rebloom. I just got a lot of joy out of it. And it looks super healthy, and as you can see right here, I'm getting a whole new flush of roots down there. And the pseudobulb is nice and plump. Well, cane, pseudobulb, whatever you want to call it, there's not much to it. So this plant's doing great, and I'm sure I'll have even better displays from it in the future. So thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!